So without further ado, let's go. The Vol View starts right now. And of course, as always, it's football time in Tennessee, baby.
You're darn right. It's football time in Tennessee.
Football time in Tennessee.
It is indeed football time in Tennessee. Apologize for the bad hair, man. That's what a hat will do to you, prior to getting a haircut. But listen, this is a massive game, obviously, for the Tennessee Vols against the Georgia Bulldogs. It's an opportunity for Tennessee to put themselves in position to to get to Atlanta, to play a second game in the state of Georgia in the span of basically a month, get to the SEC title game, and pretty much seal your ticket to this year's 12-team college football playoffs. So Tennessee comes to Athens, Georgia, where they have not won since 2016. The last win in 2016 came via a Hail Mary, the Dobnail boot, as we call it, in Knoxville, Tennessee. Joshua Dobbs and Juwan Jennings, ironically now teammates with the San Francisco 49ers. That was one of my all-time favorite memories as a Tennessee Vols fan. In that game, by the way, Georgia scored with 10 seconds left. I swear to God, I literally take my hat off and chuck it across the room as we're watching the game. By the end of the game, I'm like on my knees, like, what just happened? So shout out to Joshua Dobbs and Juwan Jennings for making an all-time great Tennessee moment. But that's the last time we did it, 8 years ago. Can we do it again? In Athens, by the way. So listen, these are two squads that are actually quite similar in the sense that their defenses are unbelievable. Now, Georgia had a bad day at the office last week. A lot of that was due to some turnover problems from Carson Beck. More on him in just a second. But Georgia's defense is unbelievable. Tennessee's defense, though, even better. If you look what the Vols' defense has done this season, they've been nothing short of fantastic. Tennessee ranks first in the SEC in the following categories: total yards allowed, third down defense, red zone defense, fourth down defense, and scoring defense. They're by far the best defense in the SEC, arguably the best defense in college football. They have not given up 20 points all season long. No team has scored 20 on the Tennessee Vols in the 2024 college football season. And so can Georgia be the first? Well, that's where we get into the particulars of the weaknesses, because that's kind of where Tennessee and Georgia have their lumps. If you look at Tennessee, it is, can they develop, or can they be able to generate a consistent, deep passing game? Either Nico Iamaleava will overthrow somebody, or they'll drop his perfectly thrown dime, drop right in the breadbasket. It'll just go right through their gloves. Speaking of Nico, by the way, there's concern all throughout this week. Is he going to play? Is he going to be able to go in this matchup against Georgia? It's not 100% confirmed. It's not 100% denied in any way. But for those that don't know, last week against Mississippi State in Tennessee's win over the Bulldogs, Nico suffered a concussion in that game. He's been in concussion protocol all this week. Josh Heupel has said, hey, he's practiced. Our plan is for him to be able to go on Saturday. Chris Lowe, I think, reported that Nico is going to play, that he's expected to play. He got on the bus today to go to Athens, Georgia. So it looks like he's going to be ready to go. So Nico should be able to play. If he's not, if Gaston Moore, the backup, is in, sorry, Gaston, sorry to his family. I'm not feeling terribly confident. Neither should Georgia fans. That's Carson Beck is bad, like really bad. This is expect about 2 to 3 turnovers a game by Carson Beck in big spots, be it Alabama, be it Texas, be it Ole Miss. The 3 biggest games for Georgia, Beck's going to turn the ball over a lot. Okay, his deep ball isn't good. He doesn't see the field terribly well. Listen, this Georgia team clearly isn't as talented on the offensive side as it was a year ago, without Brock Bowers, without Lam McConkey. And by the way, this week, no Trevor Etienne. Trevor Etienne out for this game, so that hurts their running game. Their offensive line for Georgia has really struggled. And by the way, Ole Miss worked that offensive line last week. You know what Ole Miss does not have? James Pierce, Tennessee's premier pass rusher, the best pass rusher in the Southeastern Conference. So, you might be thinking, that seems to favor Tennessee. Well, in the words of Lee Corso, potentially not so fast. If there's one thing, I actually was talking to my co-host about this on the Triple Option. Shout out to Addison and to Asher, both fantastic. Both do a fantastic job on our Monday and Friday radio show, the Triple Option. Asher made a really good point when we were talking about this game. He said, listen, it's kind of a do or die for both teams. Like Tennessee's in a rough spot. I should say rough spot. They're not an ideal spot with their second loss. Coming into the final 2 weeks of the season, 10-2 doesn't guarantee you a spot, even in the 12-team college football playoff. For Georgia, though, they're done. If they lose, they're the 12th ranked team currently in the country. They lose another game, they're in really, really dire straits. They need a lot of things to go right for them in order to sneak in the playoff as like the 11 seed. Asher made a really good point this morning on the radio. He said, you know what, Bryson? This is Kirby Smart with his back against the wall. He's going to throw the kitchen sink at Nico. This is going to be a game. This is going to be a low-scoring game. And the over-under for Tennessee, Georgia is 47.5. Bet the under on that one. First team to 20 wins in this spot. First team that gets to 20 points wins in this matchup between two great defenses and offenses that have their struggles. And so, excuse me, sorry about the voice crack. And so, with all those things being considered, with the fact that Nico is not 100%, not even guaranteed to play, although it looks like he probably will. Georgia dealing with their problems with their offensive line and their quarterback, but their defense is fantastic in their own right. In Athens, Kirby Smart, who's only lost one time in his entire career, and that was the first time he played Tennessee on the aforementioned Hail Mary. It's a do-or-die opportunity. And this is a Tennessee Vols team that's looking to do some big things. And in doing so, in order to do big things, conquer big teams. And that's what Tennessee will do, ladies and gentlemen. Give me the Vols in a low-scoring affair, 20-17 over the Georgia Bulldogs. Yes, they do cover. Listen, even if Tennessee doesn't win, 9.5? You're talking, I get 9 points for Tennessee. Really? You get to spot me that? Tennessee plus 9.5. That line went out as high about 24 hours ago as like 10.5. Get me to the Vols plus 9.5 and to win this puppy outright, 20-17 over the Georgia Bulldogs. Tennessee gets to 9-1. They're going to put themselves in position. They win their last two games over two easy opponents, UTEP and Vanderbilt. Get to 11-1, get to Atlanta, and get to the college football playoff for the first time in program history. Meanwhile, Georgia will be in a bad spot, put themselves in a position where they can miss the playoff entirely. Forget about the SEC title game. That's gone. They could miss the playoff out entirely. So, like Tennessee in the spot, again, it's going to be a close one. It's going to be a nail-biter. It's going to come down to the last 2 minutes. But again, the matchups just favor Tennessee. James Pierce against that struggling Georgia offensive line. Carson Beck against the best defense in the conference. Yeah, give me the big orange and white. Listen, Josh Heupel kind of set the tone before the season. I certainly came in thinking, hey, Nico, Heisman contender, which I was writing Dylan Sampson, but all these weapons, here we go. It's 2022 all over again. And Josh Heupel, maybe he saw what was on the horizon because he is the head coach of the team after all. He said after that game against NC State all the way back in week 2, he said, all the great teams have been predicated, all the great Tennessee teams have been predicated off of great defenses. All the Tennessee defensive legends, guys like Derek Barnett, Eric Berry, Al Wilson, and the Minister of Defense himself, Reggie White. So, defense, once again, will get the job done. Someone once said, was it defense wins championships? I think that was what they said. Defense wins championships. Yeah, I think that was somewhere in that ballpark. Georgia, 2 of the last 3 national championships, they have won them. And Tennessee will, in effect, end their national title hopes in 2024. Vols 20, put that score up again. Vols 20, Dawgs 17. Tennessee wins, plus, take them plus 9.5 anyway, even if you don't think the Vols are going to win. Take Tennessee plus 9.5, man. Vegas is just giving you the free money right there on that spot. Tennessee 20, Georgia 17. The Vols put themselves in prime positioning to get to Atlanta to their first SEC title game since I was 4 years old back in 2007. So, a spirited edition of the Vol View. It's going to be a blast tomorrow night in Athens. College game day is going to be there. It's going to be a whole thing. I don't know. Is Luke Bryan the guest picker again? It feels like every time they go to shout out Luke Bryan. I actually love the guy, but it feels like every time they go to Athens, Luke Bryan's the guest picker. Nonetheless, very excited for this game tomorrow. Vols 20, Dawgs 17. That's it for this week's edition of the Vol View. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.